Hello everyone, this is Mega Reddish, and today we're going to be learning Magneto's ROM into Hyper Grav Tempest combo. So this is an elusive combo that has confused many players, even MSP players, throughout the years. And to be honest, I've not really learned this until like the last 2 years probably. And of course, the combo is how you have seen in the demo during the intro for this video. So after watching this video, or if you haven't done already, if you are interested in more content like this, please like and subscribe. It does help my motivation up, in creating more videos like this. Please leave a comment on what other tutorials that you'd like me to put up in the future, and I will try to work on those when I have the time. So first of all, we're gonna be turning on the input display for you guys so you can follow along on what I am doing. And the first thing that we are gonna be learning are the button sequences that you need to press. All right, so you do the ROM, right? You do that, and then you can probably already do a number of reps, but you don't know how to end it, right? At least most of us are or were stuck in that predicament for many years playing this game. Well, I didn't really pay attention much to it until recently, but I know that many other players do it differently. Like Chaos do it one way, Amir does it one way, and yeah, Sorbot and other OGs, high-level players, do it differently. So we will go over the advantages and disadvantages of some of the approaches, but this approach, I think, is pretty unique to me in a way, because I didn't really like look at other people, how other people do it. I kind of like just came up with it, and I don't know if any other players do it the same way. But anyhow, we go over the button sequences. So before you get into the actual combo, right, we need to get into like the phase where you get into the combo. So we're gonna divide this into, let's say, three to four parts. So when you're doing the ROM, and before you get into the Hyper Grav Tempest combo, right, you wanna do like this final super jump, low kick, middle kick. And by the way, I'm gonna teach you how to practice this in an effective way later on as well. So the first thing that you want to get into is that final combo up in the air. This one, right? And then after that, you do an air dash. So we complete phase 1 of the combo, and then after the super jump, low kick, middle kick, what I do is I do an air dash into low punch, down, forward, middle kick, forward, middle punch. Okay, so I'm doing this on the ground, but this should be in the air. Low punch, air dash, low punch, down, low kick, forward, middle punch, and then forward, middle kick. Okay, so it would look something like this. So practice that part entirely without the Hyper Grav Tempest first, right? because it's very important that you get that part right first. So just to explain that a bit, the low kick, the down low kick actually levels the character like right in front of Magneto. So even if I use it against a small character like Mega Man, you see it's still like right in front of Magneto's field of vision. Like it doesn't stay, the opponent doesn't stay too high. If I don't do a low kick, then the opponent tends to go up. But I've also seen players who has done this without the down low kick. So do whatever works for you. But this is what I'm teaching you right now. Alright, so after that is the Hyper Grav Tempest part, right? So if you haven't done so already, I've done a tutorial on the Hyper Grav Tempest combo. Be sure to watch that first before doing this, because I think that's I should have said this at the beginning. There should be a prerequisite for learning this combo. Alright, so let's do the combo up until the Hyper Grav Tempest hits. Alright, so you've seen that thing I've done in the end. It's the down, low kick, and then middle kick. And that's an important part because you're gonna want that in order to continue doing another set of that combo. So when that hits, you wanna super jump. So we're gonna extend into doing another one. Alright, so just to let you know that this that follow-up actually changes depending on the size of the character you are fighting against. So for Sentinel, instead of down low kick, middle kick, you would actually need down low kick, middle punch, middle kick. So I will show you really quick. Okay, you may have seen a little variation there. That when I did the follow-up, I did the jump, low punch, low kick, middle kick instead. And that is just to bring Sentinel higher because it's quite big, right? And heavy, so he falls faster. So I do this combo just to bring him up a little higher before I go into the dash, low punch sequence into Hyper Grav Tempest. Okay, so we go into some nuances. The details on what makes this combo work, or the final part at least, where people usually have problems with, is the Hyper Grav Tempest, right? The actual transition to this, because when we do the this just works, right? But for some reason, when you transition from ROM into Hyper Grav Tempest, it doesn't work the same way. When you do this, is you hold the forward button. Sorry, you hold the forward stick when you execute it. Okay, I'm gonna show you. See here? I'm actually holding the forward, or up forward in that case, for like the remainder of the frames. I've held it for like 168 frames here, as you see on the left side of the screen, on the lower left. And that is just, I think, that is just to tell the engine, the game's engine or something, what you are executing, because I think it gets confused. Alright, so now we get into how you practice this, okay? Whenever I play low tiers, I actually tend to lose some nerves playing Magneto. Like, my execution gets really bad. And that goes for the ROM, not just the Hyper Grav Tempest combo. So it takes me a while to transition from like playing low tiers into playing Magneto. So, and the top tiers, the god tiers, they may be able to do a lot of damage, but they also require more execution. So, what do I do to practice? I actually don't practice with the ROM when I do this. The Hyper Grav Tempest part. I don't start with the ROM, is what I mean. So, what I do is that I just do a simple launcher like this. And I do this low kick, middle kick, right? And then I go straight into the combo. And then just practice from there. So it's gonna be a bit higher. So actually I should time the low kick, middle kick on the way down a bit with a bit of delay. So let's try that again. So, and that's how you do the Hyper Grav Tempest combo, and that's also, I recommend practicing it. So basically you divide the ROM and the Hyper Grav Tempest sequence part, and then you put them together, right? Make sure to practice each part maybe separately and then put them back together. Okay, so let's go over the alternative approaches to that. So there are approaches that do like this. And then there are approaches that goes like this. Alright, so why do the approach that I do? If you can already do one of the approaches, then stick to that. The reason I do this approach is, as I said, my brain kind of needs a bit of time to transition from the ROM into doing the combo. So that's why I tend to like press a lot of buttons first. It kind of gives my brain some time and my hand some time as well to prepare for the combo. And also I find that yeah, this helps me get into the rhythm after I've been away for such a long time. I would say that one disadvantage with my approach is that since you are pressing a lot of buttons, right? So the number of times you can do the combo is probably a bit more limited to the number of times you can do with very few presses. So I do like 2 buttons more every time, right? If you've done that like 3 times, then you have basically pressed 6 more buttons, which leads to... Sorry. Yeah, so more button presses, that means that the hit stun count increases more, right? So there's more limited number of times that you can do the combo. But this really works for me. I can guarantee you this approach works on almost any size of the characters. And then the maintenance that you need to do for Magneto is very low as well, so you don't need to keep that level of dexterity high at all times. You can always go back to this approach and like practice it anytime. And I think it's a very, let's say it's a very chill approach, right? And I think it also looks very pretty. Yeah, if that has any bearing at all. I know it doesn't count when you want to do it in to win a match, but I think it is a very pretty combo. So I hope that this tutorial helped you. Once again, I would like to ask you to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell on if you haven't already. And I hope that you get to apply this in your actual rank match and try to level up your Magneto even more. And if it did, then I'm really glad for you. Thank you. See you on the next video, and always GG's.